just changed something inside of me. Hello and welcome to my channel. For some reason, every time I start these videos, I want to say, hello, welcome to my channel. I'm your host, Moxie. Like, why would I say, hello, I'm your host? This is my channel. Of course I'm hosting it. Who else would be hosting my channel? I was thinking of what kind of videos that I wanted to make for you guys, and I just started thinking about more story times that I could do. I have a lot of fun telling those stories, sitting down and talking to a camera. I love the idea of doing more hauls and, like fashion stuff and makeup once I learn how to really do my makeup well, once I become, more proficient in the art of makeup, because right now I just kind of put things on my face and do my best. So I was thinking, what would be a good story to tell you guys? It finally dawned on me. I want to tell you guys some of my worst Tinder date experiences. And I guarantee anyone who has used Tinder has at least one awful experience. I'm lucky enough that I only have like a handful, but I know some people who have been on Tinder for a long time. Tinder veterans. Trust me, they've got some stories to tell. Don't get me wrong, honestly, it's not like Tinder's fault, it's just the people who are on Tinder. I have had some great experiences with Tinder, but for the most part, I think I've had mostly bad experiences with Tinder. I don't think there's anything wrong with online dating. It's kind of just easier, especially for us who are not romantically inclined. It's a little bit easier to just go online and say like, hey, my favorite color is blue. I have astigmatism and a lazy eye, and sometimes when I laugh too hard, I fart. You just want to make yourself sound as good as possible. Also, I've been really meaning to paint my fingernail. I hate taking pictures of my hands. Like, look at these giant man hands. Look at these. Oh my God, where's my watch? Where's my ring? What I wanted to say is I'm gonna be doing my nails during the story time, and I'm gonna show you guys what my nails look like when I'm done, because I'm awful at doing my nails. Fun fact, I do not know how to do nails to save my life. If someone had a gun to my head and said, you better do your nails perfectly, I'd be dead. You're not here for a tutorial on how to do your nails horrifically, but just in case you were curious on what I'm using. This is Sally Hansen Color Therapy with argan oil formula. So let's just jump right into the video, and hopefully by the end of it, my nails won't look like this. So when I first got on Tinder, and I think it was my senior year of high school, and some of my friends had been Tindering, and it was like a really scary idea for me for some reason. I don't know if I can multitask. I'm really bad at doing two things at once. I don't know if I can tell a story and do my nails. I'm already bad at doing the nail part. You're right, this should wait. Okay, I just quickly did one hand off camera. It's not awful, but it's not good either. I'm gonna let this dry while I tell the story, and then we'll move on to the other hand, and hopefully it just worked itself out. This looks god awful, but it's the best I could do. I've never been more proud. Am I pretty yet? So I was still living in Las Vegas during my high school years of Tindering until I finally moved to Oregon for college. So while I was in Las Vegas, the Tinder pool was just not working out. So fast forward a couple of months, I get to college and I'm really loving it. I'm loving the people that I'm meeting. I'm loving my classes. So now living in Portland, the Tinder pool is a little wee bit better. I found that I was meeting just all different kinds of people. There is like this weird gravitational force where weird people just kind of come together and connect. Did I just ruin my nails doing that? So the potential pool of people that I could meet was way wider than what I was finding in Las Vegas. So I matched with a couple of people in Portland on Tinder. I get like some good matches with some really cute people. I'm feeling myself. I'm ready to go on some dates. I've been talking to this guy for maybe a couple of weeks now, and let's call him Lawrence. So I'm talking to Lawrence for a couple of days. Finally, he asked me, do you want to hang out? I really like how these conversations are going. I'm super excited because I feel like I've been vibing with this guy really well. Our conversations are great. We're getting along just fine. I think he's funny. We have a lot in common, yada, yada, yada. So Lawrence comes over and I think we're watching It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I introduce him to some of my friends. A couple more dates go by. So while Lawrence and I are seeing each other, I'm thinking everything is going great. I mean, he's really funny and I'm having a great time. And then the day comes where Lawrence just kind of stops talking to me all of a sudden, just like out of the blue. Stopped responding to my messages. He used to message me first and then he wasn't all of a sudden. And I thought that was a little strange, but we'd only been seeing each other for like a couple of weeks and it wasn't anything serious. So I thought maybe he met someone else on Tinder. So I just figured, okay, well that's fine. School was getting a little more demanding, so I needed to focus my attention elsewhere anyway. But then a week goes by and Lawrence messages me and says, hey, I'd like to see you again. Sorry, it's been really hectic. I'll explain everything when I see you. And I go, yeah, sure, that's fine. You don't have to explain a thing. I understand. So Lawrence comes over, we go back to watching Netflix, but he explains he was having to focus on going to court for trespassing on a private property. He was trespassing on some really old church that hadn't been used in like years or something. When I was talking to Lawrence, there was a couple of times when he wanted to come see me, but you have to pay for parking at my dorm, and he was like, I just don't have the money right now, and I would offer, I'll pay for parking, like if you're willing to drive out here to come see me, I don't mind paying for parking, and then he'd say, well, I don't have gas money either, I can't take you out to eat. So then Lawrence tells me that he doesn't have any more money because he just had to go to court and he had to pay all these fines and he needs to get back home. So he's like, yo, can I borrow some gas money? I just need $5 and then I'll pay you back next time I see you. I say that he doesn't have to pay me back, it's totally fine. He drove all this way out here, he's always making the trip to come see me, but he insists that he's gonna pay me back. He doesn't like to take money from people and he's a man of his word. All right, Lawrence, here's $5, you can pay me back next time you see me. Good old Lawrence takes my $5, walks out of the door, and little did I know he was walking out of my life forever. I never heard from Lawrence again. I checked my Snapchat. I remember I was trying to message him like, hey, it's been about 2 weeks since we last saw each other. Also, you owe me $5. Now I'm starting to realize how empty my pockets are because of college. That $5 could really come in handy so that I can eat this week. Where's my money, Lawrence? Shocker, he never replies. I got a new phone, so I didn't have his phone number anymore. There was literally no way to contact Lawrence. He just up and disappeared. That's my first Tinder experience, and that one is not so bad besides the fact that Lawrence ran away with my $5. You know you owe me $5, Lawrence. Also, my bike went missing that same week you disappeared. Funny. Lawrence, I just want to talk. This next story is about a guy that you guys are probably going to hear about later in the future, but I actually have a couple stories about this guy. I've written my fair share of poetry about him. Let's just call him Frank. So, near my school is this place called the Waterfront, where it's the front of the water, and that's like where all the boats are and where like the bridge is. For this first date, Frank wanted to take me down to the waterfront, and I was really excited about this. We've been talking for a couple of weeks as well. He seemed really sweet, really down to earth. We got along perfectly. I was so enamored by this guy. I felt like a lovesick puppy on our first date, honestly, guys. That's how great I thought Frank was. Anyway, Frank decides he's gonna take us down to the waterfront, and it was so beautiful. We walked around the entire waterfront. This was a great date. I was having a great time. Following up to the date, I'd been having a really bad week. My mental health was not in a good place at all. I was not in a good space in my head. I was feeling really sad and really down. I've been having panic attacks all throughout the week, like nervous breakdowns, awful leading up to this date. And so by the time that the date was over, I was just so happy. Guys, I started crying. I was crying in this fool's arms. Like he was holding me on our first date, our first Tinder date, holding me while I was sobbing in his arms. I mean, it wasn't anything like, I love you so much, thank you so much for making my day, I love you, what would I be without you? And then he finally like let me go and was like, are you okay? Like, he was very genuine, he was so sweet. This is why I was so smitten by him, because like that happened and he still wanted to see me after that. And I was just explaining to him, yeah, it's just been a really hard week and I had a really good time today. So everything is going fine. And then for our second date, Frank took me to the museum that's by my school. And just a little fun fact about me, I love museums, I love libraries, I just love learning, I love knowledge, I love beautiful things, like I just love the arts in general. Like, I'm so passionate about that kind of stuff. So I was so happy that we went to a museum. And then by the end of this date, we're walking home and then we get back to my place and he pulls me aside and says, hey, I really care about you, I'm liking where this is going, and there's just something that I have to tell you. It might shock you. Just wait for it. And I'm thinking, what could you possibly have to tell me? I mean, like, my last date borrowed $5 from me and never gave it back and possibly stole my bike. What could you possibly have to tell me? So he sits me down and says, listen, I'm a registered sex offender. Frank, what? Frank, huh? Frank, why? Couldn't I mention this when we were talking before you saw me? You might want to mention that you have a criminal record before we go on the date, Frank. What if I was like, yeah, I want to go on a date in the park where there's children? I can't take you there, Frank. What do you see in me? Is it because I'm so short? I look like a 12-year-old? Is that why you wanted to ask me out, Frank? Believe it or not, this was not enough information for me to give Frank the boot right away. I wish it had been. I'm a hopeless romantic and I always believe in giving people a second chance. I've got this crazy idea in my head that, you know, people change. So I asked him, what exactly did you do? If his answer included anything like, you know, having sex with someone against their will, or, you know, forcing himself onto anybody who didn't want him there, or did he have sex with someone who was way under his age? Those things I would have been like, okay, Frank, pack your bags, you gotta go. But he gave me this whole thing about he was 20 and he was seeing this girl who was 17, and her parents found out and they took him to court. So now he's got this on his permanent record that he is a registered sex offender, and by law he has to tell people that. I was like, oh my god, thank you for being so honest, you're so great. Don't worry, I don't judge you by your past, I know people make mistakes. I think about it, honestly, I don't know what the real story is. He could have told me anything. Also, none of my friends liked Frank. Nobody liked Frank. I couldn't see it because I was blinded by how wonderful I thought Frank was. Stupid me. This is just a side lesson. If all your friends are telling you that the person that you're with isn't right for you and that they don't like them, you don't have to do what they say, but it's probably good to listen to them and take what they're saying into account, because they're not just saying it to say it. If they really care about you, they're saying it because they care about you. You know, if they really care about you, they're saying it because they're trying to protect you. And there's a reason that you need to know why the people who love you do not love the person that you're with. So inevitably, Frank is no longer a part of my life later down the road. One of my last Tinder stories that I want to tell you guys, I've been on way more worse ones, but this one, I don't know if I can say that it takes the cake, but anytime anyone asks me, what's one of your worst Tinder experiences, this is my trump card. It's actually not that bad, but it wasn't good. So we're gonna call this guy Kevin. Kevin was a real gentleman. He was really sweet. And when I was looking at his pictures, honestly guys, he looked like a prince to me. Man, I'm so happy that I'm going on a date with Kevin. I can't wait. I'm getting primped up in my room. I'm putting my makeup on. I'm picking out my dress. Then Kevin shows up at my door, and Kevin don't look like Kevin. He looks completely different from his picture. And I don't think I'm a shallow person. I find beauty in all kinds of things. But if you're gonna have your pictures edited to the point that you look like a prince, you better show up looking like a prince, because I'm expecting a prince. Why did you bamboozle me like that? We're gonna have a good time anyway. The Kevin that's at my door does not look like the Kevin that was in my phone, but that's totally fine. We can find the best of it. Before Kevin had got to my place, he was actually messaging me beforehand, was like, hey, do you mind if we just spend like 30 minutes in your dorm for a little bit? I just wanna get to know you. You wanna get to know me, Kevin? Really? You mean you want to get to know my body? I know what you're trying to get to know, Kevin, and it's not my mind. But I have a really bad habit of not knowing people's true intentions. So I said, yeah, sure, come on over, that sounds fun. So Kevin comes over and we start talking. Lo and behold, I do all the talking. Kevin holds conversation about as well as I do my nails. My roommate is actually in the room with us, and in my room, I've got all these decorations. We had just gone through the recent election and Trump had just won. And in Portland, there was this huge protest, and me and my friends, we were all a part of it. And in my room, I had some signs that I had made for the protest. And I had put these signs up around my room that said things about like, you know, boo Trump. It was just like slogans and stuff that everyone was saying during the protest, some things that me and my friends had put together. And he was looking at them and he was like, yeah, I don't see the point in protesting. It doesn't do anything. Really, Kevin? Because I'd like to protest against this date, and I bet if I screamed loud enough, you would leave. So then already that was like strike one, and I was like, well, you know, I just believe in what I believe in. I like to fight for my cause, even if you don't think it's doing something for me. Protesting is really important to me because it gets a bunch of people together and lets them see, hey, you're not alone. And if that's all that it accomplishes, that's enough for me. But you know, to each their own, Kevin. You don't have to protest, but you don't have to shame me for protesting. We don't have to all agree or believe in the same things, but there's no reason to make someone feel stupid or less than you for believing in something else, and that's exactly what Kevin was doing. He was trying to belittle a cause that was really important to me by making it sound like it was super trivial, and already I was like, oh my god, stop talking, Kevin. And I'm trying to get Kevin to kind of talk more, you know, give me something to work with besides tearing me down for things that are important to me. So Kevin decides he's gonna tell me the most interesting thing about him, which is that he has a very long back. That's it. That's the most interesting thing about Kevin. He's not a prince. He doesn't like protesting. I know that much about Kevin. And you got a long back. Congratulations, Kevin. You are the king of dating. Yeah, I've got a really long back. I used to get made fun of for my long back. I can't sleep at night because of my long back. Sometimes I hunch over because of my long back. I have to duck under doors sometimes because of my long back. Kevin, if I hear you say the words long back one more time, I'm gonna make you take a long walk back to your car and end this date early. Like, we're still at my dorm and I already want it to be over. The date hasn't even started yet. This is just the pre-date where we're getting to know each other a little better. So much fun, Kevin. What did you expect out of this date? So I'm like, well, that sucks. I've got a short back. I've got a short everything. So we're supposed to go get sushi, and we get in the car, and he starts playing music. Then Kevin reaches over and does something that I was not expecting. He boops my nose. And he doesn't just boop my nose, he says, boop. He does that about 3 times in the time that it takes us to get from my dorm to the sushi restaurant, which is about 5 minutes. So booping someone's nose 3 times in 5 minutes, that should be illegal. I'm calling the police, Kevin. You just harassed my nose. So we pull up to my dorm. He's about to drop me off. And Kevin leans in for a kiss. And I do this. Boop. See ya. I deleted Kevin's number that night, and I haven't heard from him since. You know, I think we could have really been something, Kevin. That is all that I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. I love you guys so much. I love making these videos for you guys, and I love that you enjoy watching them. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Comment down below if you have any questions, anything you want to ask me, or if you just want to stop by and you want to say hi. All is good. Subscribe if you'd like to see more videos like this. Again, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget, we are in this together, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye!